You take a shower every morning without thinking about it. You expect clean streets. You expect bathrooms that don't smell like anything at all. But for almost all of human history, the world smelled like something you would never survive today. Not faintly, not occasionally, constantly. Historians who study daily life in ancient cities describe streets thick with the smell of unwashed bodies, animal waste, and rotting food, all sitting in open air with nowhere to go. There was no plumbing to carry it away. There was no soap the way you know it. There was just you, your neighbors, and the smell of everyone living close together. Why did people put up with it? Because they didn't know there was anything else to put up with. Take ancient Rome. Public latrines lined stone benches with holes cut into them, and dozens of people sat side by side, doing their business in full view of each other, with a shared sponge on a stick used to clean up afterward and then rinsed in a bucket of vinegar water for the next person. Historian Anne Olga Koloski-Ostro, who has spent years researching Roman sanitation, has described these latrines as social spaces as much as functional ones. People sat, talked, and lingered, apparently unbothered by smells that would send you sprinting for the exit. The waste from those latrines often ran into open sewers that emptied into the streets or the Tiber River, mixing with animal dung from the horses, oxen, and pigs that filled every road. Add in the smoke from cooking fires, the stench of tanneries where animal hides were cured using urine and rotting flesh, and you get a city that assaulted the senses from every direction, all day, every day. But it wasn't just Rome. Medieval European cities were, if anything, worse. Waste was often thrown directly out of windows into the street below, a practice common enough that laws eventually required a shouted warning before tossing it. Butchers dumped animal entrails in public waterways. Tanners' workshops released odors so strong that some cities forced them to operate outside the city walls entirely, because even a population already numb to bad smells couldn't tolerate that one. So how did people function like this? Your nose adapts faster than you think. Researchers who study olfactory adaptation have found that constant exposure to a smell causes the brain to essentially tune it out within minutes, a process called habituation. If you grew up surrounded by the smell of waste and smoke, your brain treated it as background noise, the same way you stop noticing the hum of a refrigerator after a while. What overwhelms you today would have simply been Tuesday for someone born in ancient Rome. There's a deeper reason too, and it connects to something much older than any city. Anthropologists studying hunter-gatherer societies point out that humans evolved without modern sanitation for the overwhelming majority of our history. Your ancestors lived alongside decomposing food, animal remains, and their own waste for hundreds of thousands of years before anyone built a sewer. Disgust, as a survival instinct, likely evolved to steer humans away from disease-causing filth in the moment. But it was never designed to demand a permanently sterile environment. It only needed to work well enough, most of the time, to keep people alive long enough to reproduce. That's a strange thought, isn't it? The instinct that makes you recoil from a bad smell today evolved in a world that smelled bad constantly. Cleanliness, as you understand it, is remarkably recent. Widespread soap use, indoor plumbing, and daily bathing didn't become normal for most people until the last 150 years or so. Before that, even royalty bathed rarely by modern standards. Historical records suggest some European monarchs went months between baths, masking body odor with heavy perfumes instead of washing it away. The smell wasn't a failure of hygiene. It was simply the accepted cost of being alive in a world without running water. So the next time you step into a hot shower and don't think twice about it, remember what that moment actually represents. It's not a small convenience. It's the end result of thousands of years of infrastructure, science, and habit that most humans who ever lived never had access to. Tonight, when you flip on the tap and rinse away a normal day, you're doing something almost no one in human history could do. You're not just getting clean, you're stepping outside of 10,000 years of the way things simply had to be.